So to begin making this pallet pumpkin, I'm going to take off the boards off of the pallet that I want to use. It doesn't matter if some have tears or breaks in the boards because for this project, that actually gives it character. So just getting the boards off using good body mechanics. Next, I'm going to be hammering the nails out of the boards that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using a hammer and a punch, as well as my legs as I need to get these nails out. Now I have my boards cut that I want to use or taken off of the pallet. I have 2 shorter ones on the sides and 2 longer ones in the middle. And now I'm just sketching a circular type shape as that of a pumpkin. And now I am using a scroll saw to cut on the lines that I just made for the rounding edges of the pumpkin. I'm making sure to have the pieces of wood clamped well so that it will not move as I am cutting the wood. The base of the pumpkin is now cut. I am using this cracked piece of wood you see at the top of the pumpkin to make the pumpkin stem using the scroll saw. Woohoo! Pumpkin stem done. Happy dance because pieces are cut. So here is the pumpkin set out and I just want to kind of round the edges a bit. Now I am putting on 80 grit sandpaper onto my sander because I am going to sand the wood pieces. I love the sound of a sander. I'm just sanding the edges here to get it rounded a bit more so the sides of the pumpkin are not abruptly straight. The pumpkin doesn't have to be perfectly round because pumpkins aren't perfectly round. I am just trying to get a look that's pleasing to me. Making sure to sand the sides of the pumpkin, the front of the pumpkin, the back of the pumpkin, and the bottom. So now I'm going to work on this side of the pumpkin. I really like to save scraps from other projects because you never know when you might need them. Pieces from building some stairs. I'm going to use the smaller one as a template to use for the back of the pumpkin to keep it in a standing position. Getting set up to cut. Now to sand the stabilizing pieces. You really don't have to sand these stabilizing pieces because they're going to be in the back of the pumpkin. Nobody's going to see them, but I just wanted to have it all smooth. So now that I have the main boards of the pumpkin cut, I am going to now use some black paint as a undercoat on the pumpkin because I'm going to do a crackling technique using glue on top of the black and under the orange paint, and it's going to give it a very cool crackled look. And so we begin. And now I will begin with the first board and paint all of the remaining boards the same, getting a nice coat of black on them. And now for the edges. Edges almost done, and then to let it dry. I'm back, the black is dry, just jamming to the music. And yes, I'm a goofball, but I have my music on all the time. I'm singing Hot in the City Tonight. Okay, glue time, the secret ingredient for the crackling technique. Now for the vibrant pumpkin orange. Spread a layer of the glue on top of the piece of wood that is painted, and you want the glue layer fairly heavy. For the sides, don't worry about how much glue, just get a layer. Repeat the process for each piece of wood. Need more glue, just dump it on the board. Make sure to get the sides. Now, when applying the orange over the glue, you want to just skim it over the glue so that it's right on the top. Board 1 done. You want to repeat this process for each of the boards. Board 2 almost done. On to board number 3. At at the bottom of the barrel of the glue, so I'm just dumping it right onto the wood. I just absolutely love this orange color, as I think it's going to be perfect for this pumpkin. And now for board number 4. The technique for crackling will be the same for the pumpkin stem, but I will be using brown and black. And here they are, sitting on parchment paper to dry. Now I am cutting some boards to hold the pumpkin together. Just squaring off that edge. Now just sanding the connecting boards a bit. And now I am sanding the stem of the pumpkin that I had cut earlier. Putting a Phillips bit in for the placement of the screw, as the hole has already been pre-drilled. Making sure that everything is lined up just right. And screw number 1 in. Just continuing to drill holes and put in the screws. Making sure I have a little space between the pieces of wood. This pallet wood is very hard. It's like drilling a brick. Rob is drilling some holes for the pumpkin stem for me because my hand was sore. Putting in the screws, and because pallet wood is really hard as it ages, my friend Rob put in the triangular stabilizing pieces for me, and this is what it looks like. And now to add a coat of semi-gloss water-based polyurethane to seal everything in. Getting the sides. With application, the polyurethane coating will have a milky finish but will dry clear. Now for a coating on the stem of the pumpkin. Look at this beautiful orange pumpkin, as it is rustic and fun, and it's poppin'. So going to do some poppin' moves. Love that crackle finish. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.